Is this the right thing to do at this point in the season? I don't know, but we're going to find out on In the Crease. Tommy Station. Tommy C is my partner right here, Dad. Oh, and Dave, I really got to stop saying I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Because people come here for authority in the world.
You don't want to give them preconceived notions that we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Let them figure it out on their own. It's much better that way.
Yes. I think that would be the right thing to do. I don't care if I'm a big hack, man. I don't care.
Sure.
I don't care. Like, if technology didn't get as good as it did, you wouldn't have to listen to an idiot like me. But for now,
you know why people like us?
Why?
Because we're the Bill Clinton of fucking podcasting. We let you guys know right up in front.
Bullshit.
There's no hiding the fact. You know what you're getting, and that's why you love us.
It was so funny. I was like, "You're just a big hack." I'm like, "Yeah, you're kind of right." Like, what do you want? It's YouTube. Turn on fucking ESPN, you dumb bitch. How about that? How's that grab you? All right, I got a couple things to talk about today. 718-395-7660. Got a lot of calls on Sunday, but I'm only taking one friggin' statement or comment. I am not feeling that great. But I do have a lot to talk about, and I do really, really want to be here.
Yes.
Check this out. We're not just making this up. And by the way, we're breaking this pretty damn early before it's actually happened. Larry Brooks, New York Post. Brooksy, you may know Brooksy from this particular incident. Which
Well, then get the fuck out of here, then.
He said I am. Brooksy and Tortorella had history. I love.
Well, then get the fuck out of here, then.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Tortorella was.
I love
right.
Torts.
He was absolutely right in that situation. You think get the fuck out if you don't want to hear what I gotta say. Eat crap. All right, Brooksy says not aware that a decision has been made in Columbus, but told the Jackets are looking at Tortorella and I'm assuming Guy Brochure if Todd Richards is dismissed. My question to you, Dead On Dave, this early in the season, and look, no one's going to argue that the start of the Columbus Blues Jacket season has been abominable, and that's putting it lightly. I mean, there's no way to spin this the right way, but I mean, even this early in the season, is it the right thing to do? I mean, you shake players up. You really don't want to shake a coach up. But we did talk a little yesterday on live that, maybe this coach doesn't have the right system fit for the new sort of skilled players they have coming in. I don't know. What do you think? Is it time to make a move? Or, I'm certainly Columbus didn't want this out already. I guarantee you that.
Oh, I'm sure they're not happy about this leak. This is what I think on this situation. It all depends on how management feels about their team. It has more to do with their team than they do the coach. I guarantee you. And this is why. If they feel this team is talented enough and have the parts to compete this year, and based off what they did last year and some of the things with some of the players that they got more specifically, you would think that this team can compete. If they simply don't believe that this coach can coach this team to the potential that they're supposed to have, then absolutely you make the move right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. If they're only 0-6, this is nothing that can't be come back from. You do it now. If you wait a month, it might be too late because you're sending the wrong message to your players. It all depends on what's going on, where the temperature is taken within the team. Because let me tell you, this team can't score. They can't stop the score. They're pretty good on their power play percentage, but that's about it. Nothing else this team does is good, and it's really bad.
And it's better. And not too many people thought that the team was all that bad last year. They were just covered with horrible injuries. I also get the impression too that Richards made a very bad impression on upper management last year. Otherwise, this wouldn't even be considered.
Sure.
It wouldn't be considered at all. So it's obvious that they don't like him. I don't know. I wonder if we have I don't really have a great background in Richards. Was he a grinder when he played? Was he this, that, and the other thing? I mean, Larionov is, Igor Larionov wrote this great letter. I disagreed with some of it last year that, we have a lot of the coaches are non-skilled players, and they don't really know what to do with players like Patrick Kane's and Igor Larionovs or Johnny Gaudreau's and people of that nature. So they just kind of get in a system mentality. I think the great coaches, I said this yesterday, like Scotty Bowman, and they take the players and fit the the system around the players. I think that's what separates a good coach from an elite coach. I don't see what bringing John Tortorella with there. He has a very, unless he's changed, and I'm not talking about his dealings with the media, because, boy, if you listen to this show, I could give a rat's ass how John Tortorella gets along with the media.
Right.
But it is bringing somebody this just doesn't seem to be disciplinarian type thing. I've watched actually a strange amount of Colorado games because I haven't slept, and that's why I'm feeling miserable now.
You mean Columbus games?
Columbus, yeah. But they're boring. They're boring games.
Yeah.
They look like they're just. This is a very likable team. I don't know what's. I don't know if they just got the wrong mix of players. And another reason I say, like, they look like they're working. I'm not just getting the same like vibe that I'm getting from Pittsburgh. I'm getting the feeling these guys are going out there and working and getting the shit kicked out of them. So,
well, the interesting thing is the name that's being circulated. I mean, there are other names that they could be talking about bringing in to replace this guy, who only has 2 years of experience, by the way. It's not this guy has a wealth of experience. He has 2 years with them. His record is 196, 182, and 37. That's not a horrible record by any stretch in this league, especially. So you got to figure that maybe this guy has earned possibly a little bit more time. But it all depends on what's going on in the locker room. And the fact that they're sniffing around Tortorella, that kind of gives us an idea to what type of coach Richards might be. Because usually if you're going to make a move this early, you're not going to make a move to bring in somebody who's similar to what you already have.
You know what it is? It's like when you're a kid. It's like when you're a kid. If you don't get your grades up and stop acting like a jerk, we're going to send you to military school. No, I don't want to go to military school. And it's like this, we're going to bring in Torts. But I don't get that vibe. I don't get that vibe from this team. I don't think they're a bunch of coddled crybabies. I think a lot of this has to do with Bobrovsky. I just have no confidence. Well, get it, motherfucker. You're in the NHL. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the only thing to do with like, you can't. Oh, okay. Let me know when your confidence. By the way, your backup's going in. Yeah. I don't get that.
He is going in. A problem could be personnel as well. I'm sitting there looking through the defense, and I know a few of these guys' names, like obviously Jack Johnson, because his parents took him to the poorhouse and all that stuff. But there's so many things. Not one of these guys on this team, they don't have a player on this team over 6'3". Is it possible they're just getting beat the hell up out there? Is that a possibility that this is just an undersized team that had and playing in front of a goalie who's having confidence problems? You need some people who are going to be clearing some space. These dudes are not trees. They're basically getting pushed around, and maybe that's part of the reason why Bobrovsky is struggling right this early.
I don't know. Bobrovsky's been taking most of the responsibility, though. I mean,
because he's played like absolute garbage.
Yeah,
there's no hiding.
Let's give a shout out. Let's give a shout out to people. Swedish wrestling news. Big shout out to you. You got a nice little wrestling site. I've seen it before because you subbed a while back. Mackie Poo, another aspiring podcaster like ourselves. Real Talk, Jay Davis. What's happening, baby?
Metaphor Messiah.
The doctor of Deke. Mwah. I look like, she said I look like a baby. You know that? Look good.
What, did you shave?
Yeah, I did. I don't like the way I look.
Your beard was epic last night.
I know what it is.
I was like,
you know what it is? I had the goatee and then I grew the beard and I thought it looked ridiculous. So I was just it was all spacey and stuff. I figure, I want a real hipster. I don't. I want to be Brent Burns. I want to look like fucking Chewbacca.
Don't worry, kids. I'm keeping this alive. This gorgeousness right here.
I'm so used to you with the beard that I don't even.
I look like a fucking beluga whale.
I don't know. I honestly, you had like a Sammy military cut last month before you dyed your hair, and you didn't really have much facial. I thought you looked great.
If I shaved this thing off, you guys would be running for the hills. It's terrible.
I don't know. I think you look
terrifying.
Good. I think whatever. Shout out to Roy, Pure, Panutson. And also I can make an announcement for the Shot from the Point Fantasy League. We are allowing and continuing the 10 moves. 7 moves is stupid, I think, even first. Now that I'm thinking about it, 7 moves is stupid, period.
No.
Why not?
I'm going with it because of how many
teams we have?
Players we have in the league and how many inexperienced players we have in the league. I think that's going to be beneficial.
Yeah.
But in any other circumstance,
no,
it's 5 or 6 tops.
Really? Well, here's the thing.
It really isn't. I lost because of the 10.
Well, here's the thing. But the other sports are played on one day, 1 or 2 days, like Saturday or Sunday, or football's combined. You could find yourself in a situation where just if the schedule's weird, you can't get enough players to compete with the other guy in the same day. So that's why I really don't have a problem with extra moves. I think it's okay. And then the size of the league on top of it, because there were several times last season where for some reason, a bulk of my players weren't playing on a Saturday or Sunday, which is when everybody just about plays. And I only got 6 players, and they got a full lineup. I mean, that's like, I'm screwed. But I could have, if I had a couple more moves, I could have at least got enough players off of free agency to match up. I might not have got good ones, but at least I could have matched up. So that's why I really don't have a problem with it.
No, I get the logic behind it, but it's just as far as like competitive leagues, most competitive leagues that you find that are really serious about it, you're going to see less moves in those. And more moves, it creates chaos and anarchy, and people are dropping players that some, especially inexperienced guys, on their last day, they're going to drop players that you really shouldn't drop. And that's just part of the experience, I guess, in a way. But fantasy is very strange. It's a very fickle bitch. And if you remember, I'm a move guy. I made more moves than anybody in fantasy last year. Yeah. And I'll probably make more moves than anybody else. I use up all my moves every week.
Well, I mean, hockey, you got to. If you're not making moves, like freaking Dopey Macazar comes up to me and goes, "What do you mean you're keeping it at 10?" I'm like, oh, Jesus. Like the free agents.
I'm personally a fan favorite of making moves because I know how much more points it's going to make. But it's kind of, I don't know. It kind of takes away from the competitiveness of it a little bit, a little bit.
Deb and my wife.
But with 16 people, we need it.
Yeah, I think Deb and my wife are playing each other this week.
Oh, nice.
I told her I'm leaving her and going with Deb. She doesn't
play for my affection.
Moving to Texas.
You will play for my love.
I want.
Play for my seed.
I flirted with Debbie on the line yesterday. She blocked me, and Jeff told her to call the Greg Wyshynski rape line.
That's right. Don't take his shit, Deb. You're a person.
716-834-3131. I think it was Jeff's best joke in a long time. Andrew G, love you. Jason Johnson, how the hell are you doing? Other things I want to talk about. I listened to a lot of Canadian radio today, which I've been doing a lot more of, but now I think I'm going to make it a habit. I just hate sports radio so much. Yeah. And like, it's just like all I hear is a Canadian accent. Like nobody like sticks out. It's like, hi, we're Bob and Dan, and we're Joe and Mike, and we're like, oh God, it's the same crap over and over again. Like nobody's distinguishes themselves. They talk about the same shit. It's mostly the Blue Jays and how they're ashamed of some player that didn't stick up for some player, and they're like, wait, they're talking about hockey. Oh no, they're talking about baseball. Oh, they're talking about the way he talks to the Toronto media. Oh, this is so exciting. Like I give a fuck how the players talk to the media. It's a Sportsnet 590, The Fan. Where do they get that?
That's great.
They're always the fan.
They're always the fan.
Why not the anarchist or the
the change?
The Fan.
The revolution.
It's an endless parade of sports doofuses that somehow figured out to make a living. I'll give that accused rapist Greg Wyshynski some credit. He did make a living, managed to make a living becoming a complete boob. Gun cannon.
That he did. He really did.
Big boob.
It's almost admirable if he wasn't actually starting to affect people's life.
No, they did something today. Signed the I probably should. I probably should click on it. I mean, it never ends. And people ask me, like, why? Well, if he knows, why is he doing this? If he knows, why is he doing? Why is he doing? I got to get this up. And I think this petition to the NHL kind of shows you.
Really? Please tell me it's
what this is really about. And I'm not trying to be so jokey for a change. I'm not above a rape joke, to be honest with you, because just for the simple fact that I'm just not giving in. I'm not giving in my humor, so I don't.
Because the second word that you used is the important one.
Yeah.
Joke. Not too many things really should be considered off limits in a joking manner.
Not according to these jackfucks.
Of course not.
Let me.
Good word usage. I like jackfuck.
I think I got that in the Army. All right, I'm going. Actually, you know what I'm doing? I'm not skipping on this because I think this needs to be read.
Let's do it.
And I think this kind of proves my point. Like, well, why would he do it if the evidence pointed the other way? I mean, and do keep in mind the NHL zapped Slava Voinov before he was charged, which I still don't agree with in principle. But I mean, who gives a shit? He was beating up somebody. He was beating up a woman.
He beat his wife up. Yeah.
Yeah. And they kicked him out of the goddamn country and all fucking great. And
it turned out to be true.
But but I think with the NHL, what they want you to think is, well, here's what the NHL is doing. The NHL is, making one example of Voinov and another example of Kane. Well, here's the thing: the evidence.
Remember, Voinov was arrested, though.
Yeah, he was arrested. That's true. He was arrested. Kane isn't even arrested. He wasn't charged right away. They detained him or whatever that's called. But he was
interviewed.
Yeah, here it is. Oh, here it is. Change.org. I'm sure this is just like hashtag. All right, this is from Melissa Grinchwind. In early August, Chicago Blackhawks superstar Patrick Kane was accused of raping a woman. Another case of sexual violence in the sport that seems unwilling to change for the better. Well, another case of sexual violence in sports means this happened. So this is very similar language to what Jen Neal used. And by the way, this wasn't written in September. This was written today. Today. The investigation remains open. Well, it's an oxymoron then. If it remains open, and by the way, this started in late July. It's the end of October. Yet Kane has not missed one single day on the ice. On the contrary, his team and league continue to actively promote him. All right. These people aren't hockey fans. This is not about hockey. This is about changing the culture to guilty before innocence. And that's it. Ty Davis.
And if you think it's about anything else, you're fooling
You're crazy.
yourself.
You're fucking crazy. You're fucking crazy because even in the face where the evidence actually points away from them, all the evidence pointed towards Voinov, and the NHL made the decision.
All of it. Yes.
Now, am I silly enough to believe that there'll probably be a little more less reluctant or less reluctant to stick up for Kane? Yeah, probably.
Sure.
But here's the problem. It's bullshit. And they believe
if there was
bullshit.
a smoking gun, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, if a smoking gun, I probably wouldn't have cared. But I got to be honest with you. If I was the NHLPA, no time. You got to get that in the damn contract. No time off until you're convicted. How about that?
Or charged.
At
or
least charged. At least charged.
Something.
And now put these people
if
down.
If he was charged, Tommy, if he was charged and actually going before a grand jury and the whole thing was actually happening, I might be okay if the Blackhawks decided as an organization to sit this guy down.
You weren't terribly upset with the Voinov thing.
I'd have a little bit more problem with it if the NHL did it. But if the Blackhawks decided
that's
as
up to the Blackhawks
organization.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the NHL has the power to do it. I don't think anybody. That's not up for debate. The NHL definitely has the power to do this. It's just
they get sued the fuck out of by the CBA.
Whether they do. Well, the CBA actually, the players have agreed to this. The players have agreed to this apparently, where they can kind of bench it for any kind of off ice thing, and that's just the way.
Even
they
without
do it.
being charged.
Yes, they can do whatever. That's why they got away with it with Voinov. That's why they got away with it last year. Which you didn't really have a problem with because the voice it was pointing towards his direction. But I was still.
Well, he was actually arrested.
Yeah, he was actually arrested. I didn't buy the story, but I mean, it turned out it was 100% true. And good fucking riddance. Goodbye.
Enjoy Russia.
But this is not about that. They want a situation where you get pointed out and you have to sit down. And if you dopes in this audience don't think that this could eventually, well, that can't happen to me. It only happened to him because he's a rich hockey player, man. Yes. Moving on.
They want you to think. They want you to think that they give a shit about this girl possibly potentially getting raped.
It has nothing to do with this girl. Even if she was raped, it has nothing to do with this woman. Nobody cares about this woman. Everybody has their own thing. They want you to be able to. The media want like they want the power to write a fucking story, right?
Yes.
And have you sit. And that's why this thing sits where it does and will stay there. That's why it'll stay there. He's been accused online. It looks just as empty. The accusation looks as empty, if not more empty, than Patrick Kane's accusation. So that stays. And this is what he recommend people do for Patrick Kane. So it has nothing to do with rape victims. If you would think like after UVA, after Columbia University, after Duke Lacrosse, and now Patrick Kane, right? All right, look, if you really had interest in women being believed, these were not the cases you would stick by. So it has nothing to do with the women. It has nothing to do with rape. It has everything to do with guilty before innocence.
Changing the narrative.
Changing our legal culture. I saw Jen Neal say it. I'll never friggin' forget what she said. She goes, social change is scary. She's talking about getting rid of innocent before guilty. Yep. That's what she's talking about. Because in the face of the evidence points the other direction. I'm done with this. Crosby has no points.
Nope.
Crosby has no points. What do you think?
None. Zero. I think this could be, I don't know if this is all because of the addition of Phil Kessel. I can't tell you that. I don't know why they're playing like shit. I don't know why they're not gelling as a team, but at least they've won 2 in a row now. They are starting to get on the right path, but there is something wrong with this offense. Plain and simple. This is a team that had one of the top scoring offenses probably in the last 5 years. They're 27th right now. And let me tell you, they're also 8th in goals against, which means they're not terrible in stopping the puck. They're bad because they can't score. 27th with Malkin, Crosby, and Kessel.
I was saying, let's not forget Yevgeny Malkin, He hasn't really been doing all that
here.
well either. And Kessel and they're all on the same line. I might be able to shed some light on you on this.
Yes.
Glenn Healy says, not without like blaming Kessel directly, but he spoke about his body language on the ice, slamming doors, looking like, not that he hasn't gone to the media and blamed Crosby for anything, but it looks like his body language looks like he doesn't want to be there. He is the last guy at practice. He's the first guy off the ice. This is all stuff we've heard about, Phil Kessel before. And I kind of went on a rant before, and I thought to myself, well, maybe Toronto media is nuts, and they're just a little harder than Phil than we thought. Although I'm no Phil Kessel supporter by any means. I'm not a hardcore supporter. But I got to be honest with you. If he fucks it up here, they're 100% right in Toronto. Oh, and, Glenn Healy, who, I don't know, this is a guy that called Pavel Datsyuk a grinder, so take that for what it's worth. But, he's there. His body language, he said if the media wants to talk to him. Now, Glenn Healy, I give him a great break on this because he's a former player. Actually, he played for the Islanders, and he was the backup for the New York Rangers in 1994. So he knows what it's like being a player. He knows about the bullshit. I actually have a personal experience with Glenn Healy where he was signing autographs, and he told all the autograph junkies to pack fucking salt, like the guys who were selling this stuff because autographs are for kids. So look, whatever Glenn Healy is or he isn't, he's a good person, and he's a man of principle. So he was saying, like, if you don't run, you can't get Phil to talk to you. Now, I could give Phil the benefit of the doubt in Toronto, but in Pittsburgh, he's been pretty well received. Him and his own words, the people have been amazing. Look, I hate it too. Part of your job is you got to talk to these dorks. And you getting off the ice first, you're a leader on this team.
Supposed to be. There's another thing to look at here. There is a very, very inexperienced coach on that bench right now. Mike Johnston has no experience. None.
Yeah.
This is not a guy that we can just give him a free pass here.
Yeah.
If he doesn't know how to handle this type of offensive firepower and how to get them to play as a unit offensively, then he might be the issue here. It's still a little too early to tell. It could be as simple as not gelling early in the season.
They didn't set the world on. You might be right. They didn't set the world on fire last year.
Yeah. 2 months from now, we may not be talking about this.
I really wonder with him. It's like why did they get an inexperienced coach to deal with a personality or an ego like Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin? Wouldn't you want a strong person?
You would think
in that sort of we always have this conspiracy theory that Crosby coaches the team. Yeah. Well, Healy went on to sort of intimate that Crosby ain't happy, and when Sid ain't happy, you're not going to be there too long. He went that far. He walked up to the door like, "Well, Sid will get you out," and he even went farther than this. Healy, if Sid's noticing something or Sid's missing something, guess who isn't? Mario Lemieux. And Mario, and he kind of intimated, at least the way I took it, that he won't, if he's bitching about Sid, you're going to be out in your ass.
Sure.
So it's just, what the hell is wrong with that fucking guy? Really.
I don't know. It's interesting to me. They had 4 guys on the team last year that scored more than 20 goals. They had, let's see here, 4 guys who are above 50 points on the season. 4 guys above
firepower.
50, 5 above 40. This is a team that can put up some numbers. There's no question about that. So you would think, just, logic, bringing in a guy like Phil Kessel is going to open the ice for the rest of the players. That's not happening yet, and we just don't know the exact reason why. I'm looking, and I tend to do early on with not a lot of information. I'm looking at Mike Johnston.
Okay.
That's who I'm looking at right now because I don't have any other information. I know 3 great players. That's what I know. 3 elite scores, not good scores.
No, these guys are like some of the best players in the league. That line's a dream. Scores. It's like something that you do in NHL 16. for goofs.
You don't even have to put them on the same line.
That was something I would handicap you. If you're not a good NHL player, just put these 3 guys in the line, and I'll try to defend against it because it's like a handicap. Ben said something that said split them, 1 to each trio, so they can each drive for their line, Malkin, Crosby, and Kessel. Glenn Healy intimated that that's pretty much guaranteed. That at very least, Kessel's dropping the second line. At very least.
That's good.
That goes without saying.
You have other players around him. You have Hornquist and Sprung. You got guys around him that can play. So you don't have to put these three guys together all the time, or even two of the three. You could split them up and still be very effective. And you got a great player on defense in freaking Chris Letang, who plays both ways, and he's a hard fucking player and able to make that pass that we always talk about, that very important outlet pass. This is a team that should be able to figure it out, and it's just when.
You know what? You know what the things too is like. Sometimes this happens, and I don't know the reason it is. Maybe the lines. This sounds stupid. Too good. Maybe it's just too much ego, or some guys.
Not stupid at all.
Sometimes guys don't click. Some guys don't click, and sometimes you'd separate them, and then you end up bringing them back, and they do click. It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's very subjective. Maybe they learn to sometimes when you get away from somebody, you get sort of perspective. Like when I yell at my wife, and I'm like, God damn, I should have said this. This is a real zinger. And next time she gets on my nerves, I hit her right. I'm like, God, I got it in that time.
Not a finger.
Yeah, so maybe it's the same thing with hockey. Like, maybe I should have done this with Crosby. He ends up back there. So splitting them up is definite.
Sure. Look no further than Tampa Bay last year towards the end of the season and into the playoffs. Not only did they move Stamkos off of his line, they changed his fucking position. There is nothing wrong with making those moves if you think it's going to be more effective. This is how we got the birth of the goddamn triplets, by the way.
Sure.
So, I mean,
look
there's ways to handle this.
Good players sometimes don't click. Bad players sometimes click, and they can't be removed with each other. Sometimes, like you see with Taze and Kane, they're separated from time to time. They're brought back. They're good. The lines wear out after a long period. It's sometimes playing too long together. It's a weird thing. So that's a definite. That's definitely going to happen. Sid's going to move on. But you know what? Healy suggested something a lot worse. They don't like this guy.
That's a possibility
that
too.
Really,
we talked about that.
That really, I mean, I don't buy all this BS. We joke around about it. I don't buy all this BS. He's in good shape. A lot of that chubby cheek shit is his body makeup and the cancer treatment. All right, let's all be honest here. I like making fat jokes as much as the next guy. You're a fat guy that makes fat jokes, but that's not his problem. If you saw him in the draft last year, he's skinny as a rail. Actually,
sure.
He just has a very chubby look. Some of that has to do with the chemo. But what's worse than that is he just. He treats it like a pickup game, and that's a real problem.
If he's a Terrell Owens, if he is a cancer in the locker room, his talent, his body shape, any of it means fuck. If the people around him do not want to play with this bastard, then nothing else matters.
It doesn't really matter.
Nothing.
Not at all. Not at all. But you know what I think, and I think I'm going to really hit Kessel over the head hard. His sister's a great athlete. I mean, I'm sure things were pretty easy for him athletically. I don't even know how much he really struggled in his career. But it's we got a caller right now. I don't know how much he really struggled in his career, but I don't think he ever learned how to behave as an adult. And I mean that quite seriously. The guy didn't ever learn how to pay. 418 Canada, you on the line?
Yeah, hi, it's the Germinator. It's no joke. It's me. I'm at work.
What's happening, Jerm?
Yeah, I want to call about the rumor. I mean, did somebody understand in the NHL that John Tortorella it's not working with the player? I don't know. I mean, is it true?
What? No. John Tortorella hasn't moved yet. There's just some rumors from pretty good source, Larry Brooks, the New York Post. He's the Rangers sort of beat reporter. And, he says that there's a very, very good possibility that Torts is on his way to Columbus. That's what I was telling you.
Oh, man, it's not going to work. It didn't work in Vancouver. It didn't work before that. I don't remember where. I mean, he's too tough.
I don't think that's it at all. I think there's a bunch of sissy boys, and goddamn, you hit a very delicate thing I forgot to put the ticker on. Strangely enough, this is a very delicate topic for me. No, they're a bunch of sissy boys, and that's one of the reasons they never won a cup over there. That's why it didn't work in Vancouver. But I will say this in your defense, I don't know. I think if Tortorella gets guys like the Rangers, they were just scattered a bunch of bums, and he put them all together, like the Tampa Bay Lightning. In 2004, I think he could do that. The problem is if you have established stars. With the possible exception of Saad, you don't necessarily have that in Colorado, a real established star. So it might be a good place for them. But I don't know. I mean, Brendan Saad, your salary, you're not gonna score the goals you had in Pittsburgh. There's no doubt about it with John Tortorella there. You're gonna be blocking shots. But I don't think the attitude has everything to do with the players being sissy boys. That's why we're talking about, Sidney and Phil don't get along and it doesn't look good and he slams the door. That's a cultural problem that probably has nothing to do with hockey. I don't think that's John Tortorella's problem. But as far as the system working in today's game, I don't know about that. Remains to be seen.
That could be a different argument altogether.
That's a different
if the
argument.
game has passed him by and he cannot coach,
It's possible.
That's possible.
I honestly, anywhere else but Vancouver, I'd agree with you, Dave. Anywhere else but Vancouver. God, there. Oh, man.
But I mean, come on. Is it a big shock that the Frenchman comes in and says that Tortorella's too hard? Is that really a shock to anybody that just happened?
You poor guy. How you doing,
you son of a whatever.
I'm going to go drink my wine. He is so mean to all of us. Get the fuck out of here.
I have to go, guys. I'm at work and
You're
I'm
the
got to
best.
go home. So,
You're the best, Germ. Great job on check on.
buddy.
Oh, let me try this. Les Terres de la Pointe. That's Saturday. Les Terres de la Pointe, Saturday, 5:30 p.m.
5:30 p.m. Yeah.
5:30 p.m. You can sub it right on my channel right here if you speak French. Even if you don't speak French, it's funny to watch those guys talk, at least for once anyway. You can sub it right here. Just go to the main page on the Shot from Point Hockey channel, and Germ is doing a great job. Thanks, Germ. Good luck at work today.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
The man, Germ.
Germ's the man, ain't he?
Love that guy.
He's a wonderful.
If you ever want to hear what it'd sound like if George St. Pierre tried to have sex with himself, just go listen to that show. And you'll hear it.
Germ did
It's
a great
fantastic.
job. Don't chase my Frenchy guy away and start saying all sorts of racist stuff.
What did I say? I didn't do nothing.
Oh, Jesus.
Someone's got to be Jake Link, okay?
Yeah, I suppose.
Someone's gotta be Jake Link.
Jake's always asking weird questions like, so do they really play accordion everywhere? I mean, he says the strangest shit. Speaking of Jake,
how many times have you worn a beret?
here he is. He's on a plane right now with his little Shot from the Point Live T-shirt, which I got to start selling those again. He's on his way to, where's he going? Jacksonville, Florida? Is that where he's going?
Yeah, he's going. Somewhere in Florida. Yeah.
There he is, listening to the show. Big Jake Link. I wonder what he's thinking about.
He's nodding in approval.
Do they eat cheese in Quebec like they say on TV? I don't know. Maybe they do. I'm just asking. You know.
How many mimes are in your area right now?
Have you ever doubled as a mime?
How many times a week do you eat baguettes?
Yeah, baguettes. We got. You should know that word. We have that down the street here.
I no. Melanie always says it baguette. She says it with the emphasis. My wife,
baguettes.
It's baguette, but she always says.
And by the way, they're
baguette.
bad. I'm totally used to them. I love having baguettes and a coffee and a cigarette.
Love baguettes.
Yeah, it's good stuff. That's good stuff. I think we. I guess the only other thing I want to mention is yes, Carey Price, Tyler Sagan. And Vladimir Tarasenko are the 3 stars of the week.
Yeah, golf clap.
Here's somebody that I definitely agree with Chris Wazzle. I don't. He used to write for the Hockey Writers. I don't know what the hell he's with now.
That name, Wazzle.
Yeah, the greatest interview in Shot from the Point history, Chris Wazzle. But Wazzle said that Corey Schneider should have been on that list.
Schneider.
I agree with him.
He's not wrong.
No, he's not. I mean, like he really played well. The Devils stink, except for Adam Henrique. He basically shut down San Jose, who was hot coming in. They beat the Rangers. He made an amazing save on Ryan McDonough, and with a little help from his defense. The guy was amazing. He was the reason they won the game. I think the Rangers were counting on him being sloppy. He wasn't sloppy. You could have made a really good case that Corey Schneider could have been Player of the Week. It's something to think about.
No, I think so. Absolutely.
I think that's something to think about. And
1-1 on the year.
Oh, and shout out to if you guys want to make me videos and have me, I'll definitely give you credit on it. But if you guys want to make videos for us and have them upload here, certainly. Like, why the hell would I give you when I could do it? I could just do it on my own channel. Well, do it on your own channel. Get 11 hits. You'll get credit here, and you might get a little more exposure. But Frank Mosa, actually, I can't play the video. And another reason is you're not going to make any money uploading those clips anyway because it's the NHL's property and they always catch it anyway. But here, if you want to do that, and he made a reply video to my Mike Camilleri shootout God, and he called it Ryan McDonough OT God. And it's really funny. In fact, I'm going to put it in the chat. I got to put it in the chat because it's revenge for my little snarky video. I'm going to put it in the chat right now. And you guys can check it out, but it's really, really funny. But check out that video. It's a response to mine, Ryan McDonough OT God. Actually, and if you haven't seen the Camilleri video I uploaded, please check that out too.
Watch that
because this is part 2. And it's
watch them back to back.
Little Listito says it's baguette. That's how it sounds. Now you're in Brooklyn. Hey, it's a baguette. What do you want? Forget about it.
Hey
No,
Johnny, can you go get me a couple of baguettes?
Yeah,
And a scusi, a scusi.
Yeah. Forget about it. Ah.
I like that. I like that.
But
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm not gonna bitch about Rick Nash. If you want to hear me bitch about Rick Nash, and you didn't check Shot from the Point live in 1 hour, that video drops. It's already
He's
uploaded.
shit in the bed, boy. Woo.
He does a lot of good stuff away from the play, though.
Sure, he does.
He does a lot of great stuff on the way from the play. Unfortunately, they're not paying him to be Lee Stampanic or Stebniak or whatever his name is.
He's a gold medalist skater. There's no question. He's got that quality.
Great.
Isn't it great?
Oh, I'm thrilled.
We should be.
I want him to score goals, Dave.
I don't think that's too demanding.
Score goals, Rick Nash. Score goals. You're like, he's one of the most talented players I've ever seen. Score goals, Rick Nash. Score goals. Please.
The puck.
Speaking of Lee Stampanic or Stebniak, Stebniak gets a big call. In OT, gives Devils a win over the New York Rangers 2-1. That's right, the Devils.
Over the who? Over the who?
Devils beat the Rangers.
Oh, okay.
2-1 in OT. God, that 3-on-3 overtime is great. It was that a fun game, I guess. Fun OT. I don't know. It was a fun game. Rangers played lazy. And they deserved to lose.
I like the 3-on-3. It's working.
Yeah. Vladimir Tarasenko, he pops 2 as the Blues take the Jets 4-2. Tarasenko tearing it up. And Jeff Huffman says that he's no Russian fluke. He's the next Datsuk.
He seems to be the real deal. That guy can play.
Could be. Anti-Hudobin, he makes 34. Ducks get their first win over the Minnesota North Stars. That's right, I said North Stars. 4-1.
Somebody get Gordon Bombay on the phone. Holy fuck.
With the Swedish hockey coach. Karpetsky, he lets the Oilers pass the Canucks in OT. They take it 2-1. Connor McDavid with a good save, a real nice setup. Maybe it's coming.
They've won 2 in a row now, man.
Yeah.
Edmonton.
And McDavid was a factor in both of them.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, that's right. The Colorado Avalanche lose. Tyler Foley scores late in the second as the Kings beat the Avs. Is that their first win of the season?
I believe it was their second, but don't quote me. The hell was that? I know what it was. Took me a second, but I got it. Yeah, it was their second win of the victory.
Only one game in the National Hockey League tonight, 7 p.m. The San Jose Sharks take on the New York Rangers, and if the New York Rangers treat the Sharks like the Devils, they're gonna take a bite out of their ass. How do you like that? It sounds like a Jewish guy.
I think you missed the Hawks game.
No, that's it.
No, from yesterday. You didn't talk about the Hawks winning yesterday.
The Hawks didn't play yesterday. They played Saturday.
That's when they beat up on Columbus?
Yes.
Oh, I've had so much misery in my sports weekend that I guess it all blended together. I went to the last victory. I'm sorry.
I don't know, misery, nothing. You were awful confident about the Cubs yesterday.
I'm still confident about the fucking Cubs. Going home to Wrigley for 3 goddamn games. I'm still confident.
You still got to spend the game 6 and 7 over it.
Well, we got to get the game 6 or 7 first. I'll worry about that bridge when we get there.
If they lose, they'll probably losing in Wrigley.
I guess I could take some solace in that. I don't know.
I think maybe they have underestimated that Mets pitching staff.
Oh, they didn't underestimate him. They just can't hit them. They didn't underestimate shit. They just
we're swinging good. We knew they were good, but they just throw.
God, the whole damn team averages fucking 95 miles an hour. That's unfair.
Isn't fair.
Jesus.
All right. Check. They throw the ball too hard.
A little bit too hard. God, the whole damn team averages fucking 95 miles an hour. That's unfair.
Isn't fair.
Jesus.
All right. Check out Shot from the Point live episode, which came out I don't know, yesterday. It's really good. Hour and a half of good old Shot from the Point fun. And check us out tomorrow live, 3:30 Eastern Standard Time. And to get out of my grace.